And we are live. Guys, I'd like to welcome you to a very special edition of the Let's Talk Fishing podcast. My name is Jay Angel, and I'm going to be the host for tonight's festivities. Tonight, I have a guy from Responsible Anglers United, grew up down in Southern Louisiana fishing for giant bass on Lake Buff. I fished with this guy, and this guy really knows his stuff. He's a hammer, he's a stick, all kinds of things we call people who are really good at fishing. But without further ado, how are you doing tonight, Austin?
Good.
Doing good, man. Why don't you tell me, man, Lake Buff, when you were growing up, it was one of the better fishing places you've ever been to, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. I mean, it was probably one of the best around the house for sure. I mean, it was pretty much in our backyard. Especially right behind Tyler and his grandpa's, we would take a little go devil, go back there, and it was just some of the best fishing in South Louisiana for sure.
Wow, that's just fantastic. And to a series of most unfortunate events like Hurricane Ida. Ugh.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it definitely put a hurt on the place for sure.
Yeah, that's just why I'm starting to learn South Louisiana goes by its own rules, man. We lose fish through oxygen deprivation, through saltwater intrusion, through all the crap that comes up during hurricanes.
Yeah, they definitely got a tough life down there for sure. Plus the people.
Yeah, plus a lot of people like to eat fish in Southern Louisiana. It's part of the culture.
Yep.
But so, anyways, a bunch of guys got together. Most notably, your uncle Steve Dufresne, and they formed an organization called Responsible Anglers United. Would you like to tell us about that?
Yeah, basically what he did was, kind of got tired of going to more Lake Buff and not struggling to catch fish. I mean, everybody was. I mean, it was not nearly as good as it used to be. And so we kind of got tired of it, and Steve kind of got with the Cajun Baby and kind of said, let's kind of piggyback what he did and start our own thing down here to make a banquet, do the benefit, to raise money to put fish back in Lake Buff and try to get it back to what it was.
Yeah, a guy by the name of Tad Mazie called me and told me about Responsible Anglers United. And I said, I helped so many efforts like that when I was living up in Illinois. We stocked at least 3 different lakes and a couple of rivers with bass, with walleyes, with hybrid stripers, all kinds of different fish. And, if Department of Natural Resources, the LDWF, all those places, they're so strapped and they're being pulled in so many different directions. Yeah. Sometimes we as anglers have to get together. And one thing that shows them is that we're serious.
Mm-hmm.
We want what we want. We all pay our own. We all pay for our licenses. They were stocking the northern part of Louisiana. How about some money down here too?
Yeah, just a little bit of help. We don't need much, but no, I mean it's. Why wait on them is kind of what Steve. The whole thing behind it was why wait on them. Let's help ourselves.
What I like. Now that we showed them that we were serious, the LDWF was there during the stocking. And we're going to be partnering with them. And Steve Rockweiler now is on their Black Bass Advisory Council. So is Tyler Rivette.
Mm-hmm.
Your brother. Jeez.
Yeah. I don't claim him.
You don't claim him?
No, he's good to me.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's all right.
One thing I'd like to say, not the Responsible Anglers United didn't only talk about stocking, they actually did it. Mm-hmm. And what I'd like to tell all the folks is we stocked bass that were between 4 and 6 inches long, and they were Florida strain. Florida strain are very aggressive, very quick growing, and they grow to enormous. If you see a 13-pound bass, you better believe it's Florida strain. Here's what we stocked, guys. Look at those fish. That came straight off that net that you see there came straight out of the fish truck that drove in from Alabama. They drove through the night to get here. They met us at the boat launch on one of the canals that goes into Lake Buff, and they had 32,000 of these bad boys. And Austin, were you there?
Yeah. No, I wasn't. I was working. My dad
Okay.
was. Tyler was. I mean,
I
couldn't make that part.
I talked to both of them. Yeah, I had a great time that day. But these bass, as soon as they opened up the doors to net the fish out, those bass were jumping out. We were running around picking the bass up off the ground.
Yeah, that's what I heard. They were real lively. My dad even said most of them looked even bigger than 6 inches. Like they looked really good, really healthy.
I don't have anything for perspective on that. I wish I would have done something for that, but you guys can clearly see that. Oh, I want to get back to this too. Okay, there's a couple of things I really want to talk about. I just started talking about bass and got excited. So we're going to have an event on January 31st, guys. It's going to be down in Gaines, which is right next to Raceland. You can buy tickets at Responsible Anglers United. Responsible Anglers United. And there's something else I want to talk about with that. Austin's stepbrother, Tyler Rivette, is donating a fishing trip. This is not a guide trip. This is a fishing trip. He's going to take you fishing. And you can buy tickets to this. We're going to be raffling it off. Go to Responsible Anglers United, and at the top right, click on Fishing Sweepstakes. And even if you don't, if you live in freaking Minnesota, think about it. Lake Champlain, New York, they're going to fly you there. Tyler's going to come and pick you up and take you fishing. $35 a piece, a chance.
Yeah, I mean it's I got lucky when Tyler first kind of got in the elites. I helped him drive all the way up to Lake Erie. We fished right by Buffalo, and man, it's something I'll never forget. Coming from South Louisiana and never seeing smallmouth to go to one of the best, the Great Lakes. I mean, it's that whole area.
You've never fished in 40 feet of water, have you?
No. You just kept watching the drop shot fall and fall and fall, and then finally you start seeing them come up, and it's like, well, get ready, here they come, and it's.
So, what did you think the first time you hooked into a smallmouth? You saw him come up like this in that clear water. Oh,
yeah, it's just so clear. It's almost like you tuna fishing offshore, like we did as kids and all, and they fight like them too. I mean, they pull, they don't give up. They have no give up in them.
It's so much fun. I grew up fishing for smallmouth in streams in northern Illinois. And, when you hook into one in a foot and a half of water, they jump straight out of the water. And they do 2 backflips and they take off. Because, we were kids, man. We had like the Zebco 33s. We didn't have any good equipment because, my daddy wasn't going to give me a good rod that I was just going to take to the creek and destroy,
Yeah.
And I did destroy them because, sometimes we hook into northern pike up there. Sometimes we hook into catfish.
Yeah.
And I didn't know, that you're not supposed to crank down the drag. Back in the 70s, a lot of us didn't know. We just put on heavier line to fish for bigger fish.
Yeah. Nowadays, people go lighter line and go for bigger fish. Running 6 pound, fluorocarbon and all, trying to go finesse. Times definitely changed.
That used to be all I would use as a small little. When I was in the Air Force living in northern Michigan, I used a small little ugly stick, 5 foot extra light, with 4 pound Kmart line. And the only time I ever changed line back then was when it got to be when there wasn't enough line on the spool anymore to really cast. I caught a lot of big fish doing that, man. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
it's when I really fine-tuned it, and it just didn't occur to me, Then I came back to the real world, which was Chicago, Illinois, and those boys started teaching me, no, man, you got to change your line. You got to get a rod for every purpose.
Yeah, at least try to.
Yeah. Well, now I do. Now I have 3 rods for every purpose, and I'm sure you do too.
Oh yeah.
So, guys, even if you can't get to our event. If you for some reason you can't go and fish with Tyler, you can still donate to us, and all the funds are going to go to things like I showed you. Here's what all the funds go to right here. 32,000 of those bad boys. That cost close to $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's worth it. Austin and I were talking about this before. If half of them live, even if 10% of them live,
Yeah.
that's 3,200 bass that are running around, and they have fantastic genetics.
Yeah, the genetics, and then you figure, come next couple of weeks, especially down there. I mean, they're gonna be, trying to spawn, and I mean, at 6 inches, what, few months ago, I say a few months. I mean, they're gonna be looking to spawn, and it's just going. You got that genetic back down there, which I really think that's what hurt. We kind of lost that Florida strain down there, and it's just gonna help everything. I mean, you got what they had before, and then the little bit that we put, and it's only to start.
Yes, I completely agree. That's another great point, Austin. This isn't the last time we're going to do this.
No, not even come the end of the month. It's gonna be a third and a fourth, and start going to the Zalmans and Lockport, and venturing off towards Bayou Black and all. I mean, that's the goal.
Oh
Start
yeah,
with Lake Buff, get Lake Buff back, and then go the surrounding areas.
Patawachi.
Yep.
Man, Catawachi, there's some history there.
Oh yeah.
All those places need bass, all of them. But yeah, we've got the Cajun Baby up there in Pierre Park doing the same thing. But the difference between us and them is they're putting in the fingerlings, which are about 2 inches.
Yeah.
Been doing it for 10 years, so
Mm-hmm.
they've got a foothold there, man. They got the ball rolling. But yeah, so if you live around here, go ahead and buy you a ticket to our event. Last year they had Boucherie, a Boucherie pig. It was excellent. They had every kind of fixing you could possibly imagine for that. And they had a dessert table that was second to none. I mean, the dessert table reminded me of some of the best rigs I worked on offshore during Christmas.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just an elaborate stuff. Everybody pitched in. They had a band. They had all kinds of silent auctions and live auctions and things you could buy. They were selling beer.
Yeah, if you bought a cup and got free alcohol. I mean, it's
Well, I had they were selling cans of beer. That's what I drink.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I had a good time. It was a really good time. My wife
it really was.
Had a swamp pop band. People were out there dancing. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, guys, so come there, support us. And you're not just supporting us, you're supporting the fishing in South Louisiana. So, and if you don't want to come to our event, or if you can't, buy you a chance to fish with Tyler Rivette. Because think about it, man. Here's a guy who fishes the Bassmaster Elites. He would have just gotten done with the practice period and the tournament. So he's got his program down.
Yeah.
He's not going to have to go looking for the fish. If they're there, he knows it.
Yeah, I mean, on Champlain, they're pretty much everywhere. I mean,
Oh yeah, smallmouth bass.
That whole Great Lakes area is it's unreal. The fishery that they have.
I actually bought a 20-foot walleye boat, a Triton, just so I could go to Green Bay and catch smallmouth bass. That's how much I like them. Since I have sold that boat, you can't go out on that boat. You can't go out on the Great Lakes with a small boat. So I had a 20-foot fiberglass deep V. And man, it's just so exciting.
Yeah. That's when we went. It was like I don't know, maybe went 10, 15 minutes in the Lake Erie, and you start looking down. You don't see anything but water one way, and you kind of get in the middle, and it's like, looks like you're in the ocean. It's just so big. It doesn't look that big on a map, but you get on, it's like that. And as soon as you just launch, it goes like 5 foot to 20, and then it's 30, 40. It's just crazy how much water. They're everywhere.
I've had some experiences on Lake Erie. Yeah, that can be a scary place to be.
No, definitely. Definitely can.
It's orientated east and west, which is the prevailing winds up there. They come from the west and
Mm-hmm.
go east. But I don't. I want to talk about fishing with Austin though. So speaking of fishing, man, I have fished with Austin. In fact, I took this picture on Falls River, which for those of you guys who don't know, it's kind of in east central Louisiana. It's an old meander belt lake from the Mississippi River.
Mm-hmm.
And it is. Did you catch these on Falls River as well?
Yeah, that was actually 2 weeks ago. Tournament, a little after Christmas tournament they put on. Kind of got lucky. The fall kind of stopped me, and the place I caught fish there before just pulled up, and they just kind of fell in my lap for the most part.
What'd you catch these fish using?
Spinnerbait.
Spinnerbait. Were you
Yeah,
fishing
around
again, or
rip
you
rap, just
rip
rocks,
rap?
just
Okay.
running the bank.
So you caught these in about a foot of water?
Yeah, foot and a half, 2 foot. I mean, trolling motor was kicking up mud every time I move it. You had to kind of stay slow so they could guess, wouldn't know you're there. And when you would hit one, they'd rip the rod out your hand, and spin a bait would come back folded.
Wow, that must have been a fun day, huh?
Oh yeah.
Did you place high in that tournament?
End up winning, like I
You
said.
ended up winning.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
That's a pretty good basket, but False River you never can tell because there are some big ones in there.
No, I knew I had 16, and I called up 2.5, but I think a 260 something. I mean, didn't really help much, but I think it was a difference maker from first and second. And but like I still didn't think I had it. I figured as good as I called them, someone's got 17 or 18. I mean, this little place is really this year's. From what everybody's telling me, it's fishing really good this year. So hopefully it can stay there.
Well, man, guys, I spent a day in the water with Austin. We went offshore and we were fishing brush piles. And I mean, there are a lot of brush piles in False River. Those guys really like their bass. They're out there every single year putting more brush piles in. And the brush piles are in huge areas. And we were casting well, I started out Texas rigging, and you were throwing a twitch bait.
Yeah, jerk bait.
Jerk bait. Yeah, I'm sorry, twitch bait. But yeah, you were throwing a jerk bait. Then we started throwing crankbaits. But man, that is just exciting. And you're ripping that down through there, and it stops. And man, I'm snagged. No, that ain't a snag.
Yeah, it's just when I moved up here in April or May, it's just so different. It's only 2 hours from the house. Raceland, and moved up here. It's if we fish 5 foot of water in Raceland, we fishing too deep. I mean, you might as well be catfishing. It's just and to come up here and fishing 15, 20 foot now, it's real eye opener how different the rest of the world is. Definitely a
That's
different
why I
kind of
asked
fishing
you
for sure.
When you said you were on the western basin of Erie. Man, you got to fish deep over there.
Oh yeah, it's 30
too
foot,
deep,
I mean, something like that. And like I said, you'd watch the drop shack go on live scope, and it would just keep falling, and finally they'd start coming. I guess they'd see it after halfway. It's just so clear,
And
they start coming up for it.
We used to use tubes way back when. Yeah, that would take sometimes 2 minutes to get down 30 feet, and sometimes when you learn to follow your lure down too because of just what you said. You saw that on live scope, and I haven't been to the Great Lakes since live scope was developed, but I can remember following it down, or even before I started following it down. Sometimes you cast out and you're waiting for your line to go limp, and it doesn't go limp.
What? Yeah, he's got it.
Yeah, then you realize, holy bonus fish. That's exciting. And then then it finally dawned on me, man, maybe I should follow this down because how many bites have I missed? Oh, you never know.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, over here you kind of got to do it too if you're flipping piers, because you'll watch your line and watch it, and you're like, man, I know it's not that deep, and you pick up on it, and it's halfway in the pier, they come running out with it, and you're like trying to set the hook underneath the boat. It's like maybe I need to start following it, you know?
You know, that's exciting, because one of the things I noticed about down here when I'm Texas rigging, casting up to the shore, sometimes, as soon as it hits the water, it runs right back at me. And those bites are very difficult to hook into. But every time I have hooked into a fish that did that, it's been a big.
Yeah, normally when they come out, they're doing it for a reason. They ain't stupid.
That's not a 2-pound fish.
Yeah.
Some of the biggest fish I've caught down here have done that to me. Are you familiar with Cajun Lures?
Yeah.
Cajun Lures is coming back. A guy by the name of Lane Zimmer. He's a charter boat captain from Cocodrie. He's going to be. He just bought the name from Zach.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also, he had most of the molds. He was doing some of the shooting plastics for Zach back in the day. But yes, so that's good news. That's good news that Cajun Lures is back. I'm going to be working with Lane, trying to sell some lures for him.
Yeah, that's good.
So tell me, what is with everything you growing up on Lake Buff? How do you have any prediction about how long this is going to take before we start seeing fish?
I mean, I think this year you'll see a difference. Just the numbers, and like you said, if 10% live, which I think closer to 50, if 30 or 40 live, I think you'll see. The size won't be there yet, but the numbers will start showing up in 2 or 3 years, and we keep restocking. It'll just be. It's only gonna help.
There's so many good things I can say about this. It shows the LDWF that we care. It's going to bring more people to that area, to the area of Raceland, and look at Lake Catawatchee. During its heyday, I heard there were hotels that aren't there anymore.
Oh yeah.
Look at what happened to Bussy Break, man. That's one thing I like to say about this kind of stuff. If you build it and people start catching big bass, that can be an economic boom for that area.
Yeah, I mean, I ain't been to Bussy, but I've heard the stories of, boats on top of boats and people everywhere. It's just, small place, and and Lake Buff's not that much bigger, if it's bigger at all. I mean, I guess if you can't count the canals, it's probably a little bit bigger, but still, I mean.
Yeah,
Bussy's still holding on.
I mean, Bussy Break, I don't know how big that is.
Yeah, it's not big.
I can tell you. How many acres is Bussy Break in Louisiana? 2,200 acre reservoir.
Yeah, it's not big at all.
Man, but to have 13-pound bass. 13-pound bass.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the amount of 10-pounders come under there every year is crazy.
It is. Oh, Tyler Rivette just said, oh, here.
Yeah. I taught him everything.
Austin's I can see him saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Tyler. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. That's funny. Austin's my hero. I love it, man. I love it. So of course, False River fishes so much differently than Lake Buff.
Mm-hmm.
In Lake Buff, one of the things Well, I saw a Rockweiler. He was using small little beaver tail type
Yeah.
baits. Is that what you like to use? The smaller soft plastics?
Yeah, over there, more punching with 1 ounce weights, but like over here, I'm more putting it back on the backside of a jig, like a speed crawl, or using a chunk and hanging it, and because that's just what everyone does around here. They really don't flip just creature baits around piers. It's jigs, or it's jerk baiting, or it's spinner baiting on the bank. I mean, it's kind of, well, you're deep cranking in 10, 12 foot of water. It's just so different.
You,
There's no habitat. That's what hurts this place so much. If we had any kind of habitat here, I mean, there used to be grass years ago, from what I'm hearing, like 20 something years ago, and they said this used to be what Bussy Break is now. People used to come here, and it used to have a slot, and there was grass, but then all that kind of went away when all the big houses came.
yeah, well, the big houses they come and they don't have any natural shoreline anymore because they all want sheep piling around their house.
Hmm.
Then you turn the lake into an aluminum bathtub, and it can't clean itself. Then a lot of the
Yeah.
cleaning through wave action, and that natural kind of little pea gravel that collects on the shoreline or sand filters the water. So
Yeah, that's about the only downfall here. As much as I like the grass fish, it's got none.
yeah, grass is, well, it's one of the things that fish need. They need cover, they
Yeah.
need food, and they need a suitable temperature.
Hmm.
You have the food, you have the suitable temperatures here, but
Yeah, they got the food here for sure. It's full of shad. I mean, you go in middle in 30, 40, 50 foot of water, there's shad, and you go on the bank, there's shad. I mean, it's crazy how much shad's here. I mean, the fish are healthy right now for sure. They're feeding up, and they'll be spawning here in a couple of weeks. If I think of that front one that came, you probably would have seen a lot more this week spawning, but it's gonna start getting cold next couple of days.
now is that good for False River?
What's that?
Cold weather?
I have no idea. We got a tournament here Saturday and Sunday, so I mean, we're gonna find out.
Yeah, I guess you haven't been fishing it for 30 years like you have been.
No, I mean, like I said, I moved here a couple months ago, so I mean, we learned a lot, put a lot of time in this year on this place for sure. I mean, it seems like almost every time I'm home, 7 on, 7 off, at least 1 or 2 days. So we put in a lot of time, a lot of idling, something different too. By the house, you really didn't idle and look at side scan. Over here, you can idle all day and find something new. And for such a small place, it's crazy all the stuff you find. You pass it up, or you don't think there's something there, and then middle of nowhere there's either a brush pile or an old pier that's was something else back in the day.
You were also showing me a picture of some real nice sockeye for you guys up north. Those are crappies. Now, what were you using to catch those?
Just a tube jig and a cork, like we do by the house. They're trying to spawn over here, and
A little bitty
yeah,
tube
just
jig,
yeah, like uh,
little inch thing.
yeah, it ain't big at all. Just a little, look just like a tube, like you bass fish. Same thing,
Sure, sure,
just
sure.
small,
I've
about an inch.
used hundreds of those to catch crappies.
Mm-hmm.
But some of those crappies look like they were approaching 12 inches long.
No, most of them over 12. I mean,
Most
one
of
was
them were over 12. Wow.
yeah, one was over a pound and 3/4. I mean, pretty stock weight for sure. And it's all black sockeye, not the whites.
Okay. Well, usually you find the whites out in the main basin. They're kind of,
Yeah, those are in the canal over here. I was
that's what,
was trying to find bass, and I started seeing them and kind of switch gears. I'd much rather sockeye fish over bass fish.
well, people spider rig for the white crappies.
They do it in Old River, probably 30 minutes from here. You just see people with 6 rods on the front doing 2 miles an hour. Something else you don't see by the house. That and but the only bad thing over here is the wake boats. You'll be fishing, and a 3 foot wave hits you from nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Wake boats. Those are definitely dangerous.
Yeah.
If you're on the
Something
front of
else.
the, if you're on the front of your boat and not paying attention, you can be hurt by
Oh
those
yeah.
waves.
Something else you learn up here quick. Keep an eye out in the middle of the lake because they'll. Summertime is crazy.
Yes.
There's 10 of them everywhere, and you can't. Almost like you can't get away from them.
You can't. I grew up with that, but also I can tell you stories about catching bass in the middle of the ski lanes in some of the popular lakes in southern Michigan.
Yeah.
There's skiers on both sides of us and we're catching bass. But guess the fish just have to live with it because that's what they live in,
Yeah.
We were catching fish, so it kept me happy.
Yeah.
So okay, let's recap this. Responsible Anglers United, second annual fundraising event. Right there in the middle of the screen, you can see the flyer. January 31st in Gaines, Louisiana. $50 a ticket, $25 for youngins. Go ahead and log on to responsibleanglersunited.com. Buy your tickets. Also, Tyler Rivette's fishing sweepstakes, Lake Champlain this summer. $35 a ticket. If you want to donate to us, just go ahead and log on to Responsible Anglers United. There's going to be instructions, or get a hold of Steve Dufresne on Facebook. Steve Dufresne. He can tell you how you can do that.
Yeah. Well, you can get with Tyler probably too. I mean, any of us will point you in the right direction.
Absolutely. Even if you get in touch with me, I'll put you in touch with someone who can help you out with that. Definitely, I'll do that as soon as I see your message, man. I'm dedicated to this, and it's just to show you one time in passing, or to leave. This is what it's all about right here. This is what made all of our efforts. Dozens of people came together to make this happen right here. That picture right there. That's what it's all about. The future, that right there is the future of bass fishing in South Louisiana. And I think it looks bright. We have so many people who are dedicated to stocking more fish. It really does my heart good to see so many people coming together to help out in a sport that's just been so good to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you can agree with me, Austin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and it's, for the future and people too,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we've had it, the heydays, like we always say, used to go to Buff and 20 pounds wasn't nothing. It was 22, 23 you need to win. And now if you can catch 16, 17, and even 15 sometimes, and in the summer it's 10, 12 pounds. I mean, it's just, for our kids and all, to get it back to what it was.
Let's get those numbers back up to 20s and even some 30s. I know the potential's there. The potential's there. And something that people were worried about is habitat. Man, Austin, when your dad drove us out there to where they were going to stock it, there was a lily pad field that must have been 40 acres.
Oh yeah. No, it definitely came back to grass and Buff. Good thing. I mean, that's what it needed, really.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And when you're stocking little bass in there, they're going to have some place to hide. There's going to be a million little insects in there, and young of the year, all 6 different kinds of minnows, crustaceans like crawfish, and I'm sure they even have some freshwater shrimp. Well, I know they have freshwater shrimp down that far. I've caught them down there.
Yeah, grass shrimp.
Grass shrimp, yeah. In fact, in Florida on the Harris Lake chain, that's what my dad used for bait, is live grass shrimp, and we caught sakale.
Yeah, they use it down here too.
Yeah, live grass shrimp, man. That was he showed me that. What the hell is that? He said, that's a grass shrimp, man. Just put that on, catch you a fish.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Just never seen those. Well, hey man, Austin, I'd like to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know that 7 days goes awfully quick.
Oh yeah.
So thank you for coming on my show. I'd like to thank you again for taking me fishing. Hope to fish with you again someday, buddy.
Will do.
Just thank you so much. In fact, that's one of the things I was telling Steve, that Another thing I like about Responsible Anglers United is you guys made good on your promise. Steve asked me what I wanted in return. I said, just have your guys take me fishing, man. That's what I do this for.
Yeah. No, thank you for everything,
Well, you're very welcome, man. It's an honor to actually be involved with an organization like this with so many highly motivated guys. You usually only get 2 or 3 guys in a big group that are going to work, but there were a lot of people there to do that stocking.
Oh yeah.
I bet you we had 25 or 30 people there, and it was just everybody was pitching in.
Yeah, I mean, from the pictures, they y'all had some people for sure. Like I said, I was stuck at work, but I knew y'all can handle it.
Yeah, we handle it, and everybody will benefit from it. So it's a good thing all the way around. But hey, guys, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in to another successful edition of the Let's Talk Fishing podcast. Again, my name is Jay Angel with Austin Adams from beautiful Southern Louisiana. And with that, man, it's Thursday. It's the middle of winter down here in Louisiana. Get out there and fish, man. I know, well, if it would ever cool down, we'd start catching some trout again. And I'm looking forward to that. Don't mess with my trout, man. Well, anyways, gang, thank you again, Austin, and thank you all, guys. I have one shout out. I'd like to thank Steve Dufresne for all of his efforts, and I guess I have a couple of shout outs. I'd like to thank Responsible Anglers United for being so good to me and being so good to the fishing in Southern Louisiana. And all you guys, man, I love this. There's nothing better than helping out the fishing. But okay, with that, I'm going to end the podcast. Austin, go ahead and stick around for a couple minutes. I'd like to talk to you. And goodbye.